Section 1 of The Upper Room, Being a Few Truths for the Times. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Recording by Tim Cote. The Upper Room, Being a Few Truths for the Times, by J.C. Ryle. Preface and Chapter 1. Preface. The volume now in the reader's hands requires little introductory explanation. It contains a very miscellaneous selection of papers, which I have sent forth from time to time, in one shape or another, during a 45 years' ministry. Some of these papers are not known beyond a small circle of kind friends. Not a few of them are the substance of pulpit addresses, delivered on important public occasions, and composed with more than ordinary pains. All of them, I venture humbly to think, will be found to contain some useful truths for the times, and words in season. I have reached an age when I cannot reasonably expect to write much more. There are many thoughts in this volume which I do not wish to leave behind me in the precarious form of separate single sermons, addresses, lectures, and tracts. I have therefore resolved to gather them together in the volume I now send forth, which I heartily pray God to bless, and to make it a permanent blessing to many souls. Palace, Liverpool, 1 December, 1887. J.C., Liverpool. Chapter 1. The substance of this paper was originally delivered as a sermon at the consecration of St. Agnes Church, Liverpool. Acts 1, verse 13. They went up into an upper room. We are told in these simple words what the apostles did immediately after the ascension of our Lord Jesus Christ into heaven. Fresh from the wonderful and touching sight of their beloved Master being taken away from them, with the message brought by angels bidding them expect his second advent still ringing in their ears, they returned from Mount Olivet to Jerusalem and went at once into an upper room. Simple as the words are, they are full of suggestive thoughts and deserve the close attention of all into whose hands this volume may fall. Let us fix our eyes for a few minutes on the first place of meeting of Christians for worship, of which we have any record. Let us examine the first congregation which assembled after the great head of the church had left the world and left his people to themselves. Let us see who these first worshippers were and how they behaved and what they did. I venture to think that a little quiet contemplation of the subject may do us good. This upper room, we should remember, was the forerunner of every church and cathedral which has been reared in Christendom within the last 18 centuries. St. Paul's and York and Lincoln and all the stately ministers of our own land, St. Sophia at Constantinople, St. Isaac at St. Petersburg, St. Stephen's at Vienna, Notre Dame at Paris, St. Peter's at Rome, all are descendants from this upper room. Not one can trace its pedigree beyond that little chamber. Here it was that professing Christians, when left alone by their Master, first began to pray together, to worship, and to exhort one another. This room was the cradle of the infant Church of Christ and the beginning of all our services. From this room the waters of the everlasting gospel first began to flow, which have now spread so widely throughout the world, however adulterated and corrupted they may have been in some ages and in some parts of the earth. I invite my readers, then, to come with me and examine this upper room as it appeared on Ascension Day. There are certain points arising naturally out of the text before us, which appear to demand special notice. Let us see what they are. Concerning the shape and size and form of this room, we know nothing at all. It was probably like many other upper rooms in Jerusalem. But whether it was lofty or low, or square or round, whether it stood east and west or north and south, whether it was
Sample complete. Ready to continue?